Hello, my name is Shed and I will be explaining the assignment for cloud computing. So first off, let's start with this part section of the code. This is used to get the class labels. This is used to get the list of colors. And this is used to get the YOLO weights and configuration, these two. And then this is finally to load the object detector that is trained on the Coco dataset. These are the paths used for these. And then the main section of the code to get the prediction is this. So the main part of this code is this that is used to get the prediction from the each images, and then after which we create a I create a list of confidences and class IDs. This confidences is the accuracy, and the class IDs are used to get the label. So this loops over each layer, this loops over each detection, and then this extracts the confidences and class IDs. After which, once I get the confidences and class IDs, I create another empty list, and then I use this code to return the JSON object back that's written here. So this label uses the class ID to get the label, and this is the confidences that is the accuracy for the Docker file. So the main approach for containerizing the web service is using Docker, and and for that we need to create a Docker image. So the main way to create a Docker image is to use a Docker file, and these are the steps to create the steps that are involved in making a Docker file. Firstly, we use from, which is an instruction that initializes a new build stage and sets the base image, which is Ubuntu 18.04. Next I use run, which is used to execute these commands that help me run Python on my web service, which because I need Python 3. Next I use copy instruction that copies this file, the requirements text, which is run here, which is all the requirements like Flask or OpenCV, which are other dependencies that are needed to run the web service. So this is copied from here and put in the work directory here. And then I use add to add all these files that are needed as dependencies for my web service to work, and put in the code work directory. Next, you run the pipe to upgrade the pipe, and then run to install all the requirements for all the web dependencies. And finally, to execute the Docker file, you need to have an entry point and a command. That's how I execute my web service. That's using Python 3. That's the entry point, and then the main script file is server.py and Kubernetes service. So let's start off with the nodes. This is the master node, and this is the worker node. This is the role master, and these are the internal IPs, and these are the OS images that is running on the nodes. Next, we'll talk about the service and deployment. This is the service, and this is the deployment. This is the name of the deployment. This is a replica, that means the number of pods. I start with one pod, and then I increase it to 2 and 3 using the command line. And then this is the container, that's the name of the container. And then I have the image that's uploaded onto that I push onto Docker Hub, and that's my iWebLens server image. And then this is the container port of the image, that's 5000. These are the resource limits, that's 0.5, and request is 0.5. Next, let's talk about the service. That's the service name, that's the protocol TCP, and this is the target port, that is the container port here, that's the port on the image, and that's port 5000. That's the Docker image running on the port 5000, and that's node port. That's the bridge that helps us communicate to the outside, and that's because on the master node we have extra node port mappings that are using host port 8080 and node port the same node port as the node port in the service. That's this that helps build a bridge between the container and the node and the outside, so we can communicate with the web service using port 8080. And the way I push the build the Docker image is using docker build -t, and then I push that image onto Docker Hub. Next, let's show Nectar. This is the public IP address, and this is my security group, which allows port 8080, which allows us to through extra port mapping allows us to communicate, and host port allows us to communicate with the web service. Next, I can show you the pods. These are the pods, 3 pods that are running successfully. And then I can show you on the client that my service does in fact work. And then finally, I can describe the nodes to show the load balancing. These are all, describe the pods, sorry, to show the load balancing. These are 3 pods, and these show that the loads are balanced evenly among the pods. Thank you.